LG battles Apple in this, a quick look at the LG G4 versus the iPhone 6. While many major OEMs are ditching plastic, many of them are favoring metal or glass unibody designs, but the LG G4 takes a different route. The G4 comes with the leather backings that we are now all seeing ever since the leaks, and there is a stitching in the middle, and the leather backings come in a bunch of different colors. But if you aren't swayed by this new material choice, you can get some highly finished plastic designs, including a black titanium finish or even a white ceramic finish. As you can see here, that for this comparison we managed to get our hands on the black titanium finish version. The G4 even sports a subtle curve, a little bit like the G Flex 2, but definitely not quite as curved, but it will benefit from the durability that was afforded the Flex line. But aside from these changes, much of LG's design language remains the same. The iconic rear power and volume button setup returns with the G4, and the front of the phone once again is greeted by a near bezel-less display. Compare that with the iPhone 6, as Apple continues its recent legacy of minimalist unibody metal designs, offering the familiar single home button on the front with an integrated fingerprint scanner. Like the G4, the iPhone 6 is not a major departure in design from its predecessor, though the display size took a sizable hike upward and the aesthetics have been further refined. Probably the main design cue that differentiates these two phones is the fact that the G4 has a removable back, and that means that against the iPhone 6, it does have a replaceable 3000 mAh battery unit and expandable storage. So both the G4 and the iPhone 6 are premium devices in their own right, but ultimately it comes down to personal taste as to which phone is the more attractive one to you. Large screens have been par for the course in Android, but with the latest iPhone, Apple has finally caught up, offering a 4.7-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 334 by 750 on the iPhone 6, and the 5.5-inch iPhone 6 Plus offering a 1080p display. While the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus provide an adequate viewing experience for those that subscribe to the bigger is better philosophy when it comes to displays, the 5.5-inch Quad HD Quantum display of the G4 is certainly a more impressive screen. The resolution and size may be the same as found on the G3, but thanks to the Quantum display technology, LG is looking to meet the DCI standards of general television and cinema, and is hoping to create an even better color spectrum through its display compared to plenty of the other flagships available, including the iPhone 6. Display experiences on both devices already look quite great, with the iPhone 6 bumping up the screen size and resolution, much to the delight of Apple users when compared to Android. But the G4 already has a Quad HD display that has been further enhanced with even better colors with the Quantum construction, and the IPS construction has already been well regarded from LG. Performance between Android and iOS is always a bit of a hard comparison because the two ecosystems require very different things. The iPhone 6 will feature a 1.4 GHz A8 chip with just 1 GB of RAM, which doesn't exactly impress in the world of Android for 2015, but has been more than enough to provide a solid iOS experience, and plenty of Apple users are happy with it. But for the LG G4, you get a Snapdragon 808 with 3 GB of RAM. Now, the 808 might not sound quite as impressive as the 810 that was used in the G Flex 2, but LG worked very closely with Qualcomm to ensure that the 808 was as optimized as possible for the G4. The result is a smooth Android experience and Lollipop, obviously, that really does kind of surpass what we saw in the G Flex 2 when we had our hands on it. In terms of other hardware features, the iPhone 6 comes available in 32, 64, and 128 GB flavors with no expandable storage. The G4, on the other hand, comes with 32 GB, but is further augmented by a micro SD card slot. Now, the LG G4 has a replaceable battery thanks to the phone's removable back, which LG claims can get close to 20 hours of talk time. And of course, as it is replaceable, you will be able to have spares on you when you need it. The only real glaring difference between these two is the omission of a fingerprint reader on the G4, but we will also mention that LG has told us that the G4, in association with Qualcomm, has one of the best GPS sensors available. Using a combination of all of the sensors in the phone, the GPS signal on the LG G4 is supposed to be one of the most accurate available. Nonetheless, however, both of these phones offer quite a bit in the hardware department, with the G4 one-upping the iPhone 6 mainly because of a couple of those features, the removable battery and the expandable storage, that you don't really find on too many flagships today. Apple tends to shy away from the specs and megapixel race that is usually found in Android, but its 8 megapixel rear shooter on the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus happen to be one of the better performers out there. The iPhone 6 Plus camera also benefits from optical image stabilization, but ultimately the camera is a little bit modest on paper but does perform quite well. However, the LG G4 offers a much more noticeable upgrade over its predecessor, jumping from 13 to 16 megapixels. But more than just megapixels, the LG G4 also offers f1.8 aperture this time around. The LG G4 also offers OIS technology that has been bumped up with a wider spectrum and a color spectrum sensor that will analyze scenes to help achieve the right white balance automatically and accurately. The camera apps show a lot of differences here, as the iPhone camera is pretty simplistic with swipes in and out of the different modes on the viewfinder, but the LG G4 also comes with a very robust manual mode that includes everything from even a histogram to manual focus to the ability to shoot in RAW and JPEG format simultaneously, and even a complete white balance gamut. Stay tuned for a full camera comparison between these two when we pit them together for a much longer versus segment. Apple users will swear by their iOS 8, which is found in the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, that now brings improvements to the iCloud, Apple ePay, improved notifications, and a new health ecosystem. iOS receives a lot of this positive attention from its fans for its ease of use, its quick updates, and the hardware-software optimization that Apple puts into its products. Obviously, it's a little too early to talk about LG's quick update prowess, but LG has put a lot of effort into optimizing their software. While the GUI looks very similar to what we saw in the G Flex 2, for example, lag and stutter are now at a minimum, and we can pretty much give the credit to the close relationship with Qualcomm in the Snapdragon 808 that has been optimized for the G4 needs. LG has also added a few new features, including an enhanced calendar that can save captures from pretty much anywhere in the phone to your dates, and also a powerful gallery app that, among other things, will group photos into memories categories. It's also worth mentioning that LG has a very close relationship with Google, and much of what you find in the LG G4 will mirror a Nexus-like experience. And so, there you have it for this quick look at the LG G4 and the Apple iPhone 6. We're obviously going to be putting these two devices against each other again for a much longer form versus, but we wanted to give you a short look at it right now. Stay tuned for even more at the LG G4 launch event here in NYC, and stay tuned for even more from Android Authority.